What was the incident at your high school? Story 1. We had so many pregnant teen girls that they had their own gym class. A friend of mine who had a fake leg, he had a solid metal rod from mid-thigh to mid-calf from childhood leukemia so he couldn't bend at the knee, was in the same class. Just this one poor guy and 30 pregnant 16-year-olds. I was a teenager in the late 90s and grew up in the southeastern United States. It was a suburban area where a ton of people, still, identify as evangelical Christians. It's also called the Bible Belt. The required sex education classes didn't teach anything but just say no, so there were girls who thought jumping up and down would prevent pregnancy. Not kidding. These were really sheltered girls who would attend purity dances, so it was quite a scandal that so many were pregnant at the same time. Most of the baby daddies were just dumb teenage boys who didn't know the facts of life. Remember that there was no internet at this point, so it's not like teens could get information on their own, especially if they were from a super religious background. A girl on my street was sent away to live with an aunt when she got pregnant. Story 2. A science teacher was beaten, chased and fatally set on fire by her husband, who then shot himself. Story 3. A friend of mine in high school had a brain aneurysm, also as a sophomore. He'd been complaining for a few days about sudden, brief, very intense headaches. He was on the JV football team and went to play a game. Took a hard tackle and the aneurysm ruptured. That actually turned out to be the luckiest possible time for it to happen, because the school always had an ambulance on call at the side of the field during football games, so he was in the hands of EMTs within a minute of people realizing something was wrong. He was rushed to the hospital. They removed part of his skull to reduce the pressure on his brain, and he spent a week or two in an induced coma. But in an absolute damn miracle, he made about as complete of a recovery as one can from that kind of injury. The only long-term effect was some very minor loss of muscle control in the left side of his face, so his smile was a little crooked. Story 4. A girl had an epilepsy attack and she lost control of her bowels. Not a pretty sight. Mean Girls type made fun of her, and she transferred to another high school. Story 5. My high school had a riot, and there was and still is a picture of my principal choking a student. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to notifications for new incredible stories from Reddit.